Hello guys, how are you doing and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through 5 broken settings I don't see enough people using on Black Ops 6 Ranked play, and actually it's applicable to Warzone as well. It's settings I consistently use and I'm able to actually reach a pink flame in Crim 3 on PC with these settings, but that doesn't mean these are PC settings. Don't worry, these are global settings. Whether you're on PlayStation, Xbox or PC, you're going to be able to activate every single one of these we're going to be going through today. Now, the first setting we're going to be looking at is an audio setting. So this is going to enable you to hear enemy footsteps a little bit louder. You're going to be able to hear door creaks opening a little bit from further away, and any sort of reload animation, anything that you should be able to hear in game that are really finite details, you're going to be able to hear with this setting. All you need to do is go to audio, go all the way down to audio mixed and select Sucker Punch. It's got the tightest dynamic range from the audio perspective, which allows you to hear those tiny little details such as reloading, such as the door bashing, just as loud as gunshots and things like that. It may be take a little while to get used to. You might have to turn down your master game volume just to account for how loud things can be. But this is the one you're going to want to use. It's not Triarch Mix, it's not Bass Boost, it's not Home Theater. Sucker Punch is the wave in Black Ops 6. Now, I've scoured the internet looking for anybody else using this setting, and I don't see many people promoting it. It was on Reddit a few weeks back, and I switched to it and cannot change back. Now, this is actually the aim response curve slope scale. Bit of a mouthful. All you need to do is go over to your controller settings, and then when you get to controller settings, you want to go over to aiming, advanced aiming, aim response curve type, which should be on dynamic anyway, and then you want to show more. And this opens up this little bar here. Now, this is where 0 would be standard. So even if you have dynamic and this is set onto 0, it's just your standard, aim response curve type, and 100 or 1 would be full dynamic. Now, I suggest playing around with this in a bot lobby, have a feel, but 0.8 is the sweet spot. I struggle to miss with a setting. It seems a little bit sticky. It makes me, it's a real nice balance between the standard aim response curve type and dynamic. So give it a go. I'd probably play with anything between 0.5 and 1, but try 0.75 as a medium and then adjust it slightly as so. Try it in a bot lobby, sit there for 10-15 minutes just trying to work it out. But trust me, this is actually a game changer, and I don't see enough people promoting it. Give it a go. Let me know what you end up settling on down in the comments below, because I'm intrigued. But for me, 0.8, as I say, start 0.75 and work either side from there. The next one we're going to be covering is a way in which you can stay in gunfights and be ready for gunfights quicker, and it's used in Warzone by everybody. And the reason it's not used in public matches or general multiplayer is because it can take a little bit of a while to get used to. Now, what I'm talking about here is interact reload behavior. To get to that setting, all you need to do is, well, you can either search for it using the search function we have in the settings now, which is really nice, or you want to go over to combat advanced settings, and it is in the interact reload behavior. Now, there are 4 options here: tap to reload, tap to interact, prioritize interact, and prioritize reload. Now, I would fully recommend prioritize interact. Now, this isn't just for Warzone, and Warzone, if you're not using this, you're doing something incredibly wrong. But for multiplayer, what this means is that, as standard, if you have to reload your weapon and you've got nothing on the ground to pick up, pressing reload will just reload it as it would normally. Now, if you want to reload and there is something to pick up, you actually have to hold for half a second to actually reload your gun. However, if you need to reload your gun and the alternative is to pick something up instead, the quicker option is always just to pick up a gun. It's quicker than reloading, it's quicker than switching weapons. So if you're in a really tight, let's say you're on P4 Skyline and you're trying to really defend the objective, you're shooting people, you need to reload, you don't have time, you'd much rather just tap reload or tap interact, square X, whatever control you play on. You'd rather tap that button to pick up the gun and get straight into the action rather than to reload. So it's much more efficient when you're in the mix, in the gunfights, to prioritize the interact to pick up the new weapon than it is to reload. It gets hate because people move to this and don't give it enough chance. Give it a go, give it time. Your muscle memory is going to want you to, you're going to end up picking things up incorrectly. So I recommend you getting used to it in public matches where you don't really care about if you're losing gunfights as much as you would do in ranked. But this is a must. You would much rather, when you're in a sticky situation, find it quicker to pick up a weapon and quicker to reload. That is for sure. On the channel, we talk a lot about maintaining your aim and accuracy and being able to shoot straight. And a big part of that is centering. Now, I've talked a lot about centering in recent videos. I'll leave the link to the video down in the description below. But it's essentially making sure that before you ADS, your center dot is on where you expect an enemy to be. Now, that only works if your center dot is accurate and it's reliable, okay? And a way to make it 100% reliable is go over to interface, go all the way down to crosshair, and you find this crosshair setting here. Now, you have 4 options. Off, which means it's completely invisible. On, which means it's there, but it moves a lot. It moves around a lot. Static, which is what I recommend, and this is essentially makes the crosshair fixed on the screen, and it truly represents the center of your screen, which is where your gun will ADS. And then you have center dot, which is literally you don't have the 4 lines coming out of the center dot, it's just a center dot and is a static space on the screen, which is also probably a valid option. Now, on is a little bit unpredictable, because when you're moving and you're sliding and stuff, you'll notice the gun, the dot on the middle of your screen, moves around a lot. So it makes it really hard to center your gun. It makes it hard to read where the enemies are coming from. At least be able to be accurate when you're reading where enemies are coming from. Static makes it so that when you're slide canceling, when you're jumping, when you're doing whatever you need to do around the map, your center dot truly mimics the center of your screen. And when you ADS, that's where you're going to be aiming into. So I fully recommend putting static on, give it a go, let me know how you find it, and I promise you, will be somewhat more accurate. Some people have the issue of not being able to see players in the game, and it can often lead to not being ready for gunfights or being caught off guard, where you literally don't see the person shooting at you until they shoot at you. Now, obviously, there are skins in the game, Terminator, where you literally, it's impossible to see. And even with the setting, it's not going to help you much, but it does make them pop. Now, the setting we're talking about is the color customization. So all you're going to do is go into interface, head over to the readability tab, which is just 1 tab along, and then go down to color customization. Now, this is the purpose of this is for those of people who are colorblind. This is to help and aid that, but there's a really nice way you can do a way to make colors pop, and that's by using filter 2. It makes the colors a little bit more vibrant, adds a little bit of contrast, and essentially makes the players stand out. You don't even want you don't only want to put it to filter 2, but you want to make sure that the color filter target is both, so it affects the interface and your HUD as well as the world you're in. And then you want both the intensities to be all the way up. That's going to add contrast to your game, add a little bit of color to your game, and essentially make it so that you can see enemies a little bit easier, and hopefully be more ready for the gunfight. Now, these are settings I use, some of which I've covered today is personal choice, but I fully recommend giving it a go. It's what a lot of the high-level players use in streaming as well as the CDL pros, so make sure you give it a go. Let me know your thoughts down below, and if you have any other secret tips you want to share with the viewers of the channel, you can leave it down in the description. Or the comments, actually. You can't leave a description, down in the comments below. That'll do for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.